Hello and welcome to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. We have 3 guests today, beginning with Mr. Roger Gore, Stephanie Gore, and Tallulah Anderson. Roger and Stephanie are with GNatural products, and Tallulah is 2For2, how can I say this without laughing? 2For2 Boobs is the name of your organization.
Yes.
We're talking about breast cancer awareness. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so we're going to discuss breast cancer today and some of the healthy things you can do, or some of the things you can do to stay healthy. But first, let's begin with your story, Tallulah.
Okay.
Tell us what happened.
So, I am a 3-time breast cancer survivor. And I say 3 times because the first time that I was diagnosed was when I was in my early 30s, and I had a left breast mastectomy. I had stage 0. So the decision was made to do that because I have a family history. And I tested for the BRCA gene. Second time, in my right breast, some cells were detected, so they decided to do some radiation, and that helped that. And about maybe 2.5 years ago, I had a reoccurrence, and that time I had chemo done, and I decided to have all the tissue taken out of my right breast. So my story, though, is that both my parents, my mother and my father, both had breast cancer. Both of them died from breast cancer. I have 7 brothers and 3 sisters. And from my siblings, my oldest sister is a 30-year breast cancer survivor. And when I had my reoccurrence 2.5 years ago, a sister was also early diagnosed. So we all had the BRCA test done, and we do carry the gene.
For people who don't understand, what is the BRCA test?
The BRCA test is a genetic test that they do to see if you carry a gene that is known to cause breast cancer. So just because you carry the gene doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get breast cancer, but it's a high chance that you will. So,
another thing is that we don't usually associate men with breast cancer.
Right. So from the genetic testing, because they follow you and they do a whole family tree almost to see who in your family has had cancer, what type of cancer, etc. And from that, they found that the gene came from the father's side, so it came from my dad's side. So usually when men have breast cancer, it usually comes from, from their side. One of my brothers, he had breast cancer and he died. It's both in my father's case and my brother's case, it was when it was discovered, it was in its late stages because most men aren't checking their breasts. And when my brother did, he kept feeling this knot. He just thought it was a knot. And he waited quite a while before he went to see what it was. So that's why I started 2For2 Boobs.
That was my next question.
Right.
What caused you to begin your organization, 2For2 Boobs?
So I started it actually right about 2 years after my first diagnosis, but it was named then Network of Sisters and Friends. And I started it right here in Bowie, Maryland. I've been living here now in the Maryland area for close to over 30 years. I originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I did like breast cancer tea, both here and in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
So what your organization does, it does different functions to help women?
Right, so to bring awareness. And the whole premise for me is early detection. Because for me, it was early detection. They knew because of my family history, the doctors, that they would follow me closely because of both my mom and my dad having been diagnosed for breast cancer, and my older sister. So I had mammograms every year from when I was like in my mid-20s. And because of that, the doctors, found, like just a small little movable little lump that was moving around. And so they knew, to follow me. And because of that, it was early detection that allowed them to go in, and do the treatments that I've had. So I'm thankful for that. So early detection was always my goal to communicate to the community.
Now, we're going to talk a little bit later, we're going to talk in more detail later about an event that you all have coming up.
Yes.
But part of that event are the two people we have sitting here, the Gores, and they have a give back program that's associated with your business, GNatural. Roger, can we tell everybody about that?
Sure. It's called GNatural Gives. We created it out of the need that we felt that in having our company, and we deal with a lot of consumers, we want to give back to the community, to people that have been so instrumental in our success. So what we decided to do is deal with things that are close to home for us, that hit close to home. My mom is a breast cancer survivor. God rest her soul, she passed away a few years ago. My sister is also a breast cancer survivor. And we try to, again, focus on things that are hit close to home for us. And with breast cancer, or cancer period, most of the times women lose their hair through the chemotherapy, and it can be very damaging to you, especially with the process of chemo itself. So
exactly, because a lot of women associate their hair with their identity.
Correct.
And when you lose your hair, it feels like you've lost a piece of yourself. Tell us what happened with you.
Okay. So for me, where I ended my story is I started Network of Sisters and Friends, and after my second diagnosis, I just, it came to me one night, 2For2 Boobs, take 2 minutes to check your tube. And I wanted it to be a call of action. I wanted it to be something that encourages women to, check monthly, check weekly. So I give out a little pink little sand timer. That's a 2-minute timer. So you just use your little timer and check your tube. So for me, what I wanted to do is make it an opportunity for women to, be engaged with knowing their bodies more and being more in tune with changes.
You know what's interesting is a lot of women don't want to check their boobs as if it's somebody else's boob.
Right.
It's yours.
Right. And I always say, if you don't want to do it, if you have a partner, let them do it. But at least do it. Some women are afraid. And one of the reasons is, what you was talking to Roger about, is treatment. Everybody's treatment is not the same. Everybody's not going to lose their hair. There's different types of chemo. Some newer chemos where you don't even lose your hair. The type that I had, I did lose my hair. And I was known for my hair. I had very long, beautiful hair, and I was, I always kept it permed, and, it was, that was me. Everybody's like, oh, Tallulah's hair. So when my oncologist told me, you're going to have to, take this chemo, and I was like, am I going to lose? The first thing I said, it wasn't even the other side effects. I was like, am I going to lose my hair? And she said to me, it will grow back. It will grow back. So for me, I did lose all my hair. And when it first started coming out, I was prepared because I knew it was, but it was during my end of my second treatment, and I started noticing it come out. And then about 2 weeks later, it was just coming out more. So I made the decision. I called my sister up, and I called the girl that does my hair up, and I said, I'm coming over. I just want you to cut it all off, because I was tired of seeing it come out. And then at one point I was putting it in a bag. I was like, I'm going to save my hair. I don't know why I was doing that, but then I was like, this is crazy. So we went and, got it all cut off, and I got, fitted for like a wig that looked a little like my hair. But then I started just not really wearing a wig that much, and just wearing hair wraps and things like that. And then I just started, taking natural oils and things like that.
So that's where the
Yeah.
Gores come in as well. You offer natural products
Correct.
that help with hair
Promoting
growth.
hair growth.
Now, what are natural products opposed to other products?
Well, natural products are created from natural ingredients, where other products, we call them chemical products, are created from man-made synthetic ingredients. So when you're using natural products, they tend to benefit the overall health of the person better, from absorption rate into the skin or the hair. There's no toxins, no parabens. When it comes to hair growth, promoting hair growth, you have several key herbs and essential oils, like Tallulah mentioned, that you can massage into the scalp, which is actually in our products, that will help you regain the hair that you may have lost, as well as promotes the hair growth and accelerate it. And Tallulah was a great example of how well, when we took the technique together with the product, her hair just overnight just grew out. So what made you get involved with natural products? Do you have a background in hair? Or? Yes, I have a background in cosmetology industry, but I was losing my own hair. My frontal area, my hairline was receding tremendously, and I tried several different products. I just kept, on the side working on it, being very conscious, and decided, I'm into herbs, I'm into natural products. Let me create my own. Created the first one, which is the hair and scalp. Used it on myself. After about a year, saw amazing results, and it's continued. My hair, I haven't even grayed like I should be, but the thing is that we wanted to focus on passing this on to other people that may have same situation like I have. So cancer was a great fit, because like Tallulah mentioned, in the process, a lot of people lose their hair, so we can get back that way.
Now, we've got three very courageous people sitting up here. So I'm going to ask each one of you, what made you believe, I can do this?
I'm first.
I can, yeah, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I can do this. This thing with using other products is not working for me. I'm going to develop my own.
Yeah. Well, my mother had a lot to do with me creating the product itself, because, a lot of times you share stuff with your parents. And I was talking to my mom about it, and she said, why don't you try to create something yourself? And that started me out. So as I created it, I kind of used her as my test dummy sometimes to see if things worked. And when it came to naming it, I think that's when she was really most instrumental. She said, put God first in anything you do, and it'll be successful. So I came up with GNatural, and that was kind of long, and I shortened it and came up with GNatural. And
that is incredible. That's beautiful.
Right.
What about you, Stephanie,
And
my namesake?
Exactly. As a spouse that watched his journey, he was very successful before going into this product journey and starting, and just seeing him, the passion, and overnight, just in the middle of the night, really writing down what needed to be in these formulations. It was an amazing process that I had to support. My personal experience as a guinea pig was, we have 3 children, and after epidurals, my hair is pretty thick, I lost patches of hair. So within 2 weeks of using his first product, you couldn't even see any holes in my head or anything. So I was on board 100%. That was like my sign from God, get behind this, and really support the effort. So. And then Tallulah has been just an inspiration. I've known her for years, and just to be able to be affiliated with her journey and anything that she does is
and just
a double
Tallulah
blessing.
taking what other people would find as tragic and turning it into triumph.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So my background is marketing. I worked for Black Entertainment Television. Actually, that's where I met Stephanie.
She was my mentor.
And I said, I have to use my talents to really put that message out there. So that's what I did. My background was marketing and advertising. People always say that I connect people together and bring people and network. I'm good at that. So, good friends like Stephanie, I just reached out to, because Stephanie was in sales for BET, and other people that work for BET and other industries that I worked in. I said, I'm going to do some events, and I'm going to need your help putting it together, getting people there, and we're going to raise funds so that we can bring awareness events like this out there, and then continue with, you know, some other goals for my organization. So I get a lot of calls from my friends or friends of friends and family members who have been early diagnosed, asking me questions and, you know, especially about treatment and how to deal with it, how to talk and communicate to your family and friends.
What type of advice do you give to them? What is your best recommendation?
So my first thing that I always say is everyone is not the same. So what worked for me may not work for you. The decisions you have to make, I always say research, ask your doctor lots of questions. I tell them my story. Like for example, if you do have to have chemo, every chemo, I call it cocktail, is not the same, and not everybody gets sick. I didn't get nauseated or sick from my treatment. The only thing for me is I had a decrease in energy, and I was used to, you know, exercising and being out, so that slowed me down some. But other than that, my cocktail was not as adverse as some other people who use, you know, may have the same cocktail as me, because they tell you what they're giving you, and they give you medication that you take that can take away some of the side effects. And then some people think you're going to lose all this weight and going to be thin, but my oncologist told me you gain some weight, and I did, because they give you steroids. So people don't realize that, and there's a lot of myths and things out there. You know, I worked in Washington, D.C. and not too long ago, as of a couple of weeks, for MedStar Family Choice, and one of the things we did and that I implemented was breast cancer awareness events in the wards, because wards 8 and 5 have the highest incidence of African American women dying from breast cancer because of late diagnosis. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we did when we were out there was to dispel a lot of those myths, like if you go and they cut you open, then it's going to spread all over your body. They, women, some of the women really think that. And then for me, for this area in PG County, you have a lot of African American women that are doing very, very well. This is a county where you would think a lot of, professional women would be going in and getting their annual mammograms, but we're doing so much, sometimes we forget, or we're like, oh, I'm gonna wait, or this is nothing. And then also it's late stage diagnosis because they're waiting. So I wanted to, have this opportunity in this stage of my life to continue with providing information on early diagnosis, just being an advocate and a resource to help women navigate the system and being able to answer their questions. So I consider myself like a support group in one person, but now I'm trying to move out and do this peer-to-peer support group, and I'll tell you a little bit about that.
Okay, well, let's talk about the event that's coming up.
Okay.
Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Actually, I have 2 events. The first one is on October 12th at Sobeys Restaurant and Lounge, which is in Lanham, Maryland. And it's a free event. And this event celebrates survivors. It also celebrates my community partners. And it's a night of just coming in and I call it Toast to Pink, just toasting to survivors or to those women that you support or family members, friends, whomever it may be. And that's from 5 to 8 p.m. And then on the 21st will be my 6th annual Line Dance for a Cause.
Line Dance for a Cause.
Yes. Another good friend of mine who worked with me at BET, her name's Jeanette Jones. She's an avid line dancer,
yeah.
and they have a huge community
following.
Yes, where I
huge
live in
community.
Bowie, the community center, they have a weekly line dance,
Right.
and it's packed.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It
yes.
is packed.
Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey, so that whole line dance thing, I'm
Right.
not. I wasn't familiar with
Right,
it
right.
until I came down here, but it is hugely popular.
Yes. So she wanted to do some cause-related things, and I was like, maybe we should do something around Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because she had an early diagnosis herself for breast cancer. So she was like, let's make it happen. So she does line dance at the Glendale Community Center, and she talked to them, and they said that we could come in and have an event. And so it's 6 years now, and it's grown tremendously to where we have over 100 women that attend.
Wow,
so
that's
it's the
wonderful.
line dance community, it's supporters, people who want to come in and just have a fun time, because it's line dance, and you hear some testimonies from some survivors. We have doctors who speak about, being diligent and getting your mammograms and checking your breasts. We have raffles, giveaways, and now I have little vendors
very good.
that give out information, and it's just a day of fun line dancing, but finding out about the importance of early detection, about the resources available in this area, and being able to ask questions from some of the vendors or some of the doctors that are in attendance.
Yeah, and like you said, I think a lot of it is myth busting.
Yes, yes,
The things like everybody's hair
yes.
is going to fall out.
Yes.
Everybody is going to respond
Right.
the same way.
Right.
And another point is too, people who feel like they are too busy
Yes.
to pay attention
Yes.
to your health. You are never too busy
Yes.
to pay attention to your
Right.
health.
And then, community partners like GNatural, who come in as well, and they're there providing information and just giving that 10% back from every sale comes to my organization. during
So
this month.
you give back 10%. Tell us about that.
Yes, we do it with cancer organizations like Tallulah. Also, we work with elementary schools, the school system. We also work with seniors as well as autism. Things again like hit home to us. But when I look at Tallulah, I'm just listening to her. I guess so. She's my hero because I understand her journey, I understand her story, and a lot of times I think about when I look at why she's just an excellent leader in this cause, is Tallulah had, and she says it so quickly, she needs to slow down. She's a 3-time cancer survivor. So a lot of times when someone gives you that word that you have cancer, it's like a death sentence. It takes a lot out of you, it takes you a moment to get things back and then start to fighting it. I nickname her Wonder Woman because just imagine get that and beat it, and you feel like, okay, I'm past that, and then you get another phone call later and say you have it again. And I watched her through the entire process. Yes. I've never seen anybody with the demeanor, with the confidence, with the, she had her moment, everybody, we're all human, and then right after that she kicks right in, and she uses all the things that she knows and her resources to work herself through it. So when she got it the second time, I was sharing with the wife, I was like, whoa, that's just, terrible. And then she beat it, and she went on past it, and then she had another phone call, years later, and it's the 3rd time she has it, and it kind of crushes you because you start over each time. But when I watched her, I just had to nickname her Wonder Woman because each time she comes through it, and she's, to me, an inspiration to all women, no matter if you have it once, twice, or you can beat it. And with her organization, I knew we were going to get behind it 1,000%, and no matter what she asked me, she knows she has my, our full support, because it's a worthy cause. Women need to know that it's not a death sentence, that you're not going to, become this bald-headed, whatever. And bald is not bad. I mean, that's a great look. I mean, if that's what you're wearing, but whatever you want to get back to, it's about restoring your life, and we want to be in the process, and Tallulah has been an amazing leader in it.
Tallulah, how do you dig deep and find the strength? As he said, 3 times, 3 times you fought this and won. You got to dig down and get that strength from somewhere. Where do you believe your strength
From my
comes
faith
from?
in God, And one thing that I have written on my mirror is He is able to do abundantly above all things. And that's my, that's what I say, and that's what I live. And it's mind, body, and spirit for me. This prayer partner, we are strong women in our faith. And I just lean on that. And have a strong support system. My sisters, me and my sisters are very close. My sister is a over 30-year breast cancer survivor. And when she was diagnosed, she had very strong chemo. She got really sick. She went through a lot that we don't now with the technology and things that they have now, and they didn't have then. And I see her as a very, very strong woman. She's like my hero. And just, being able to, use what I consider to be my gifts of providing education on this important life issue.
Also, your life is an example of taking care of yourself.
Yes.
You've got to start eating right.
Yes.
You've got to exercise.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got to take care of your spiritual health as
Yes.
well. Can I reveal that you come to
Yes.
my yoga class?
Yes. I
On a regular
yes.
basis.
Actually started taking yoga. Before then, I always walked. I walked a lot. I would do a lot of, cause walks. I've even done a 3-day Avon walk, which was, I was like, oh my God, I don't believe I'm gonna do this. But, and then I started going to a gym and getting my cardio in. I love the kickboxing to music type thing. I'm not like a marathon runner, but I can run just a little and then walk. I like to cross train.
So you try to keep yourself active.
So I do that, as well as, I've tried new things, like even spin in the water. I started that, and I said, I always wanted to do yoga, and I wanted to do yoga for 2 reasons. One, to be better focused and balanced, and 2 is because as I'm aging, my knees feel. So my doctor was like, just stretch, take yoga.
Well, before we run out of time, mention one more time the date for the second event.
Okay,
that's
the
coming
second
up.
event is October 21st at Glen Arden Community Center, and that will be from 1 to 5 p.m. And it's a free and open event, so if you'd like to come,
To raise
come
awareness.
on, to raise awareness.
Very good, very good.
The event on the 12th is at Sobeys, and again, we'll be toasting pink, and it's a fundraiser for my organization.
Okay.
And
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming. We've been talking to Roger Gore, Stephanie Gore, and Tallulah Anderson. We've been bringing awareness to you about breast cancer. Thank you so much for watching the show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. This is the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. Have a great day.